Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Change My Mind. So, you may already be aware of the concept, but basically, it's just me having an opinion, which is for today that technology is harmful for society. And if you disagree, you are more than welcome to call and change my mind. Oh, I see that someone is already calling. She's called Hanaa. So, Hanaa, how are you? Do you hear me?
Good evening, Ahmed. Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
So if you called, it's to make me change my mind. I'm all ears.
Yes, indeed. I don't agree with you because I think that technology isn't at all harmful for society. For example, it's thanks to the propagation of technology that we have a very wide access to the debates today. It literally takes one click to turn on the TV and watch a debate show, and just a phone call to take part in it. While years ago, it was restricted to a certain class, we can say, only elites could attend high classes debates. Commoners were totally cut off and ignored in social, political, or economic discussions. I think it's really good that nowadays it's open and accessible to almost everyone, which brings more people to watch and participate in debates. So, for example, it's thanks to technology that Snowden could reach the whole world and spread high classified information.
Yeah, okay. What you're saying isn't false, but I don't see this accessibility as a positive point. It's true that a lot of people are watching and following debate shows, but they don't all seek the same kind of content. Quantity takes over quality. In order to satisfy the watchers, the debates are losing their sense and becoming a source of entertainment, with people trying to clash and shut each other up.
You're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
the question
you want to put a lot of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justice,
the
radical
question,
left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
A lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So-
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
Producers search for clicks and views for the ad revenue and not the best content. And for that, they only keep the sensational parts. Whenever there is a boring part, they cut that part. Just look at some famous French debate shows, for example. C'est mon choix, where people try to expose each other for being more different. Or On n'est pas couché, Balance ton poste, L'heure des pros, where debates are either totally irrelevant or peppered with hysterical behavior and attacks on the other side.
Yeah, okay, that might be true that some debates aren't the best content that exists, but it's thanks to them that people know some really important news that never would have been disclosed otherwise. Like the Benallah's case, for example. Moreover, whether it's by directly reacting on Twitter or really taking part in shows like the ones you quoted, I find it really positive that youth is more and more invested in debates and politics, and that's thanks to technology. If this show didn't exist, they wouldn't even bother involving themselves in politics.
Yeah, okay, it's true that some important news were made known to the population thanks to the media, but there are so many others that are just fake. With social media and people who always share sensational news, the fake news are significantly more likely to be viewed than real informations that are just like more boring most of the time.
Yeah, you're right on that one. But people have to search themselves for fiability of the document they are reading.
Yeah, you said minutes ago, but people wouldn't bother seeking information or debate. If the information doesn't come to them on a golden platter, they will just stay in their bubble. Also, just take a look at the rise of conspiracy theories we are witnessing these days. Because of how the recommendation algorithm work, we only see posts that are in line with our belief, and along with confirmation bias, it deepens people's trust in conspiracy theories, and I think that it's a really dangerous thing for our society.
Actually, I think that it's a positive thing for our democracies. In China, for example, the theories regarding the government's misuse of its power are just conspiracy theories. But if people want to be free and living their lives without anyone dictating them strict rules, they need to be aware of these theories and act on them.
So first of all, these aren't just theories coming out of nowhere. There are some proofs, like for the Uyghur or the use of data. Secondly, even if we admit that it's just a theory, there are far more that are preposterous and dangerous. Take a look, for example, at some examples in the United States. Recently, we had a lot of COVID hoaxers who literally refuse to wear masks and throw tantrums when they aren't permitted in shops or restaurants.
Yeah, as per the 1964 Civil Rights Act, I cannot be discriminated against. I do have a right to be able to breathe O2, not CO2, and I am being discriminated against right now at a store. So,
are you calling to report something, ma'am?
Yes, that I am not being allowed into the store because I'm being discriminated against.
Because you would not like to wear a mask.
Discriminated against. And what store are you at?
It's called Bones and Scones, and I'm being discriminated against because I'm being told I need to wear a mask, even though I have a religious exemption right and a God-given right to be able to breathe O2.
I thought it was
CO2.
a medical exemption.
Yes, medical exemption too.
These people who actually believe that and the ones who put these ideas in their heads are really dangerous, as they put other people at risk of getting the virus. The rapid propagation of these beliefs and actions are mostly due to our actual technology. It's the exact same thing for anti-vaxxers who think that vaccines are a threat to us. They are really dangerous for themselves, for other people, and put their own children at risk. They especially put newborns at very great risk. If we didn't have the internet, these people's beliefs surely wouldn't have been that deep and wouldn't reach gullible people.
Okay, maybe I'll admit it. I came to change your mind, but
Yeah?
I think I'm the one who got her mind changed.
Oh, actually,
think
I'm
you're
quite
right.
surprised. I've held that theory for quite some time, and I think it's the first time that someone really changed his mind. Well, no, some people change their mind, and I did too, but being so honest and straightforward about it is very rare. So, regarding what we were saying earlier, do you have any ideas about it? Like, I mean, would you suggest anything to adapt ourselves to the debate?
Now that I actually think about it, what would be great would be to change the way we debate. Instead of having a direct face-to-face where people don't have the time to think and just attack the other and search for clashes, we should debate in the long term. I mean with letters, for example, where we can really think about what we want to write or really take the time to think about other sides' arguments. That way we aren't biased by our own brain and instincts to fight, but rather have a healthy exchange of ideas. That solves the ad personam problems, the easy and coward arguments, and the culture of the show.
Okay, so actually that's really interesting, but some people that are listening to us might not be at ease with some terms like ad personam or things like that. Could you precise your thinking, please?
Yes, of course, no problem. So what I wanted to say is, by instinct, when we are attacked by someone, our reflex isn't to answer logically and recenter the conversation, but to fight back on the same plane. When someone cuts us off on the road, We don't think about potential reasons or that they didn't have a choice, but we instinctively think that they are dumb. As much as I hate to admit, when I see someone saying something really preposterous, I don't start by thinking about their potential reasoning or what led them to that conclusion, but the first thing I say to myself is, how can someone be that dumb? That's even if I know that a social media like Twitter with the words limit isn't the greatest place to argument. The problem is that ad hominem is the core of democracy today. For politicians to earn our trust, they have to appear responsible, good people, and competent. That's pure ad hominem. For example, in reality, we shouldn't care if politicians are interested or not. The most important thing is what they do for the country. Whether they do something good because they genuinely care about the country, or do something good for personal gain. The result is the same for us. Also, ad personam arguments are just arguments that don't focus on the actual ideas, but rather attack the person who conveys it.
Yeah, actually, I think that's great, and I totally agree with that. If the sensational aspect was removed from the debate, they would refocus on the actual ideas and be much more interesting.
Yeah, you're right. And what do you think about the conspiracy thing? What would we do to prevent? What can we do?
So sadly, some people are so gullible that apart from cutting off the internet, conspiracy theories will never disappear from it. But what everyone should do, and us in the first place, would be taking some time to step aside of their comfort zone and try seeing things that contradict them. By that, I mean they should purposely take a look at some posts or videos or podcasts like this one that would never be recommended to them. That way they would see beyond their own spectrum and will be less influenced by their confirmation bias. It's the same for every news we read, where we should have a list of right-leaning newspapers and some left-leaning ones. For example, as soon as we read from Fox News or the Daily Caller, we should read the same article from Slate or CNN or even the HuffPost. We should then take a look at the data to check, and we pretty much will have a good idea of the whole picture. So, anyways, we already talked for quite a long time. I really enjoyed discussing with you, but we have to give other people too the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, we have to stop here, but it was really nice to debate with you. I'll definitely call again and try to change your mind for real next time.
Yeah, until next time. So, if you want to call us too, you can call the number that's on the screen right now.